revealing an alarming statistic: approximately 64% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, with 15% of those earning over $100,000 a year also falling into this category. This means that a significant portion of the population struggles to save or invest after covering their monthly expenses, leaving them financially vulnerable. So what's causing the majority of the U.S. population to live in this cycle? Let's take a look at some numbers collected by the Federal Reserve and other reliable sources to understand the underlying issues. My name is Whiteboard Finance, and I aim to teach people about money, personal finance, and investing. If you're interested in improving your financial future, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if this video is helpful. The phrase living paycheck to paycheck is often used in discussions about personal finances. But what does it mean in this context? It refers to a financial situation where a person's income just barely covers basic necessities like housing, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Missing even one paycheck could cause significant financial hardship. When living this way, nearly 40% of Americans report having no savings, making it impossible to deal with financial emergencies or disruptions in income. Only 43% of U.S. households feel prepared for unexpected expenses, according to Bankrate. High bills. 49% of people say that high monthly bills are the primary reason they're stuck living paycheck to paycheck. Some expenses like housing, utilities, and healthcare have been rising dramatically. For instance, housing costs have increased by 33% over the last decade, and healthcare expenses are up 43% since 2013, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. While discretionary spending or subscription services offer some room for adjustment, nearly 61% of renters report spending over 30% of their income on housing, a threshold that defines housing as unaffordable. It's also important to note that high bills don't always result from overspending. Rising costs of essential services, such as utilities, groceries, and insurance, hit many modest earners the hardest. For instance, the cost of groceries has risen by 11% in 2022, and utility bills have spiked by 8% due to inflation and rising energy costs, leaving little room for flexibility even among careful spenders. Low income. A significant portion of people, 46%, attribute living paycheck to poor budgeting or lack of financial planning. This reveals that the issue isn't only about how much money people make, but also how they manage it. Interestingly, only 44% of respondents say low income is the major factor contributing to their financial instability. Despite this, many struggle to balance rising costs with stagnant wages. For example, median household income increased by just 3% between 2021 and 2022, far below the rate of inflation, which hit 7%. The Federal Reserve reports that 42% of Americans working full-time still don't earn a living wage, and 53% of U.S. workers earn less than $40,000 annually, making it tough to cover the basics. Many of these individuals find themselves trapped in a cycle where income barely covers essentials, let alone leaves room for savings or investing. Unexpected emergencies. 35% of respondents attribute their paycheck to paycheck lifestyle to unexpected emergencies like medical issues, car repairs, or home maintenance problems. Medical emergencies are a particularly significant financial burden in the U.S., where 66% of personal bankruptcies are linked to healthcare expenses. Even with insurance, high deductibles and out-of-pocket expenses can quickly wipe out savings. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, the average annual health insurance deductible is over $1,600, making it challenging to cover even minor health emergencies. Car repairs and other urgent expenses also add to financial strain. AAA estimates that the average car repair bill is $500. And with 38% of Americans unable to cover a $500 emergency, many have to rely on loans or credit cards, worsening their financial situation. rising costs. 32% of people say that the rising cost of living is one of the main reasons they're struggling financially. Inflation hit a 40-year high in 2022, with consumer prices rising 8.5% year over year. As prices for essential items like housing, food, and gas continue to climb, many Americans are finding it harder to maintain their standard of living. For example, housing prices are up 18% year over year, with rent prices climbing an average of 9% nationwide. In particular, grocery prices saw a 13.5% increase in 2022, the largest annual jump since 1979. And gas prices surged by 48% in 2022, peaking at over $5 per gallon in some areas. The rising costs have outpaced wage growth, resulting in reduced purchasing power. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, inflation-adjusted wages fell by 2.6% in 2022, further squeezing household budgets. Low income. A significant portion of people, 46%, attribute living paycheck to poor budgeting or lack of financial planning. This reveals that the issue isn't only about how much money people make, but also how they manage it. Interestingly, only 44% of respondents say low income is the major factor contributing to their financial instability. Despite this, many struggle to balance rising costs with stagnant wages. For example, median household income increased by just 3% between 2021 and 2022, far below the rate of inflation, which hit 7%. The Federal Reserve reports that 42% of Americans working full-time still don't earn a living wage, and 53% of U.S. workers earn less than $40,000 annually, making it tough to cover the basics. Many of these individuals find themselves trapped in a cycle where income barely covers essentials, let alone leaves room for savings or investing. Debt burden. Another critical factor contributing to the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle is the burden of debt. 39% of respondents indicated that they are struggling with various forms of debt, such as credit card debt, student loans, or personal loans. High interest rates can quickly accumulate, making it challenging to make significant progress in paying down balances. For example, the average credit card interest rate is currently around 20%, and many borrowers find it nearly impossible to pay off the principal while only covering the interest. Additionally, Federal Reserve data shows that student loan debt has skyrocketed to over $1.7 trillion, affecting millions of Americans and limiting their financial freedom. With monthly payments often exceeding $400, this leaves little room for savings or discretionary spending, trapping many in a cycle of financial stress. The constant need to pay down these debts means individuals are perpetually on the edge, living paycheck to paycheck without the ability to invest in their future or build a safety net. In summary, living paycheck to paycheck is a reality for 78% of Americans, driven by high bills, lack of savings, unexpected emergencies, and the rising cost of living. While budgeting and cutting back can help, many find that low wages and skyrocketing expenses make it difficult to escape this financial trap. Remember, you're not alone in this struggle, and there are tools and communities available to help you navigate your financial journey. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more insights on personal finance and investing. Together, we can work towards building a brighter financial future and breaking free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Thank you for watching, and let's take the first step toward financial empowerment.